Where the hell am I? Skip it up and that up. No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. I'm in my studio again, but it isn't my studio. I brought my studio to my home, and we replicated the same look. It looks amazing. The person I work with he's one of the most talented people I've personally ever met. And we did this in a night, and it looks like I'm back down at my office. It's insane, but I'm really happy. The production value is back where it was. The audio I fixed even before we did this setup. Things are really cool. And that ugly ass lamp is going to have RGB lighting behind it. I'm even going to bring the desk here. Right now I'm sitting at an end table with tile on it. Production value. So my biggest beef with Apple's iPhone as of like the past 6, 6S, 7, iPhone 8, even the iPhone 10, is they just either don't innovate. I mean, think about it. You have the iPhone 6, you have the iPhone 6S, you have the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 8 that look identical. Do you realize that's 1, 2, 3, 4 generations of iPhones that look the same? And then they went to the iPhone 10, which had the huge notch, and I wasn't a fan of Face ID. It was let me tell you something though, the camera on that phone was amazing. The camcorder, I should say, recording video on the iPhone 10 is still one of the best camera experiences I've ever had with a phone. But I didn't like Face ID. I didn't like the notch. I felt it was just Apple playing catch up to their competitors. And the iPhone XS and iPhone XS Max, it's the same thing. It's the iPhone 10 with upgraded specs. Yes, the A12 Bionic chip is an absolute monster, but it's nothing exciting. It's the iPhone 10 with beefier internal specs. I know a lot of other people in the industry do it, but Apple, they just seem to be playing catch up to Samsung all the time. I don't even own a Samsung phone right now, so I'm not Samsung fanboying, and I owned an Apple phone for a fairly long time just recently. I'm just keeping it real with you. Well, anyway, a Japanese tech blog, Mako Takara, I think I actually said that right. I didn't even have to look down at the iPad. Yeah, go me. They've actually been good on Apple iPhone predictions before in the past. For example, with the iPhone 7, they predicted that they were going to get rid of the headphone jack, and they did. And Samsung still has headphone jacks on their absolutely gorgeous Galaxy S10, and they have more features than iPhones do. What's going on, Apple? How's that courage working out there, Phil? Let me know. Call me in a couple minutes. I don't even have a watch on, but call me in a couple minutes. Phil Schiller, but ladies and gentlemen. Courage. Well, anyway, my point being with Mako Takara is they've been on point with their rumors in the past before, their predictions in the past, and the ones they have about the iPhone 11 are pretty interesting, where they're copying Samsung again. They used to be the innovators. Steve Jobs was around, like with the iPhone 4, everyone was playing catch up to the Apple's devices. Now it's Apple playing catch up to their competitors. What's going on, Apple? But anyway, with the iPhone 11, it's going to have that bi-directional charging on it, according to Mako Takara, where the Galaxy S10 does this, where you can have the phone facing upside down and then you could charge another device on it. I saw Mr. Mobile's review of that. It's like, you know, if you really need to top up a device, like it's going to work supposedly with the new AirPods and the Apple Watch. If you need to desperately top up in a pinch, you're good to go. But if you think you're going to be charging someone else's phone on it, you're just going to drain your phone and give them battery. That's at least what happened with the S10, and I'm sure that's going to happen with the iPhone 11 as well. And hey, ladies and gentlemen, get excited. Get those golf claps out for Apple. They're finally going to include a fast charger with the iPhone 11. They're not going to cheap out. And where every one of their competitors, whether they have mid-range, even entry-level. I had an entry-level phone back in 2016 made by Blue that had fast charging that came with a fast charger. Anyway, Apple's finally going to include a fast charger with the iPhone 11. It's going to have the 18-watt charger that comes with the iPad Pro. So now you don't have to go out and spend either a $50 premium to get the official Apple fast charger or get Anker's fast charger, which I would have recommended to you for $18. You don't have to spend any money. Apple's going to be generous now like the rest of their competitors are. Samsung, once again, includes a fast charger. They have since they've included fast charging with the Galaxy S phones. Now it's just going to come in the box when you buy an iPhone 11. Hey, Apple, welcome to 2014. Yeah. But here's the thing though, if you're getting a tech boner thinking that Apple's going to have USB-C on the iPhone 11, no, it's going to be USB-C on the charger and still Lightning on the other side. Because Apple, I don't think they know what the hell they really want to do yet, whether they want to go all USB-C. I heard that USB-C is just going to be kept to their professional devices like their MacBook Pros and the iPad Pro. Or there's also rumors they're going to slowly phase out Lightning altogether. Who the hell knows? They should. People will be very thankful if they just went over to USB-C, since USB-C has become the industry standard. They still should have regular USB-A jacks on their MacBook Pros though. But anyway. But Apple likes to make it confusing. They also want to make sure that you have to buy accessories from them or buy licensed accessories from like third parties that give Apple a piece of the royalty too. It's all about the cash money. If they're forcing you to have to buy a Lightning port cable, they make money off of it. Whereas if you go USB-C, USB-C is an industry standard. They don't make money off of that, or they don't make the extra money off of that. So that's why they're doing it. But I have a feeling they're going to switch over to USB-C with the next iteration of iPhone. But who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. I have to talk about the same beef I've had with Apple now for the past few years. Apple. Look, I get everyone copies each other's features. Samsung copies features from you copy features from Samsung, OnePlus copies features from everybody. But there was a time you were the one setting the standards. Okay, I still remember with the iPhone 4 with the Retina display. They took a direct, Steve Jobs went on stage and he just went right after the OLED screens. Because at the time, he thought OLED wasn't ready for prime time yet. And he's like, look, we have a gorgeous LCD screen. It has so many pixels packed into it. It looks like you're looking at a piece of paper. It looks like you're looking at actual text that's printed out. That's how high resolution it is. You guys were setting, Apple, if I could talk today and not go yoop, Apple is the one who basically set the standard for what a smartphone is. If you remember, Google was working on Android before the original iPhone came out, and they were actually copying BlackBerry. If you saw prototypes of what Android was supposed to be, it looked like a BlackBerry device. And then they dropped the iPhone and they were like, oh, this is going to be the future of smartphones. Yeah, we got to change what we're doing. And then they came out, I think it was T-Mobile that had the G1, I could be wrong about that. I know it was made by HTC. It was kind of big and thick. It had a keyboard too, but a full touchscreen, and it was the first iteration of Android that was actually commercially released, okay, for the public to purchase, was, although different, it was more iPhone-like. So you guys set the standard, Apple, but now it's you playing catch up. It seems you got features. You finally just started embracing wireless charging with the iPhone 8 and 10. Wireless charging has been a thing, I believe, since 2014 for Samsung. I know my Note 5 that I had wireless charging. It also had fast charging. You didn't get into the fast charging game again until the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10. Why is it that you were the ones who were the innovators are now the ones that are 10 steps behind your competitors? And the whole spiel with the iPhone 7 about how we need the room to add more exciting features into our phones. That's why we got rid of the headphone jack. How come the S10 and all of Samsung's phones actually are more feature packed than the iPhones and they still have a headphone jack? You just caught up now with water resistance and everything else like that, and your competitor has the same water resistance, my opinion, a better screen, and still has a headphone jack, and a lot of people still want a headphone jack. Apple, I'm not saying you haven't done a lot good in the past before, but there's a lot of people that were big fans of you that have become your critics, and there's a reason why, and this is one of them. What happened to you being the industry leader and not the industry follower? I want to know. I don't care how if you're a $1 trillion company. I don't give a crap about any of that. What shows is you seem to be copying your competitors, not setting the standard like you used to do. What happened? It's time for you to get back to that so you're respected in the industry like you used to be. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one.